last time we discussed how to get a job in the games industry, but more specifically a full-time job. This time I want to discuss freelancing because after watching the last video, you might have realized a full-time role maybe is not for you. It might not be a career path that you are interested in. You might have some friends that recommend you to look into freelancing. So before we get into the practical advice today, I want to make sure the distinction is very clear between what freelancing means and being hired. The key difference is that a freelancer is not legally an employee. So unless it's specified in the contract, your client has no obligation to pay you minimum wage, pay for sick leave, paternity leave, maternity leave, do any sort of pension contribution matching. And this might get a bit confusing because especially lately, there's been a lot of companies hiring with fixed term contracts. But if you're hired through one of these contracts, usually lasts 6 months or 1 year, you are legally an employee. So you do get these benefits. So when you hear somebody is a contractor, usually they do get these benefits. But if they're a freelancer, by law, they're not entitled to any of this. Okay, so why would game studios pick one over the other? Well, usually game studios want to build a team. So there are budget and taxes considerations, of course, but since a lot of studios are interested in building a team, freelancing is not as popular as you might believe, at least with very big game studios. That said, there are still a lot of freelancing opportunities, and the good thing about freelancing is that even if you don't land a gig in games, you might be able to apply the same skills to something else. Okay, so I hope that's clear. And let's get to tip number 1. The first thing you need to do is get a contract. And this is crucial to set expectations for pay, of course, deliverables, so the work that you will do. And you really shouldn't expect your clients to have the contract ready for you. So it's much better to approach them with a contract, with your terms, again, because you are not an employee. So these are things that you need to think about and figure out. So I will leave you my contract in the description, which you can just duplicate and change with your name. But in terms of the rate, that will depend on many considerations. A good starting point usually is to think about the full-time salary for the role that you will cover as a freelancer and divide that annual salary number by 2,000, which is roughly the amount of billable hours in a year. So I hope with this information you can fill out your contract and get that ready to go when you approach your first client. Tip number 2 is to stop doing what you love. Do what the client loves. So apply your skills and your passion to marketable products. If you study game development in a school or in an online mentorship, you probably have been given the complete opposite advice. Follow your passion, do what you love, and that's good advice to keep you motivated and interested in learning more. But when you become a professional, so you turn your hobby into a job, what you should focus on is on what's marketable. So sometimes this coincides with your interests and passion, but other times the things that you are interested in are simply not appealing to clients. So as an example, for 2D concept art, I've been seeing lately a rise in need for adjusting AI-generated images, which is something that I haven't seen any 2D artist advertise in their portfolio. But if game studios need a person that helps them with that, you should market this skill if you can do it. You need to be ready to market these skills. The product that you're selling are your services. It's not your talent. Most clients will not recognize your talent. The clients have a problem and pay money fix it. So generally, they don't care about your motivations, your aspirations, your passions. Just think when you hire a plumber, you're not gonna wonder if they're a talented plumber. You just want your shower to be fixed. So again, you're selling your services, not your talent. This is a key mindset shift if you want to turn from hobbyist to professional. Tip number 3 is to focus on professionalism. Even if you're very young or if you plan to do freelancing just on the side, this is just another skill that you should start to work on. So what this means is being reliable, communicative, and solution oriented, especially when things get tough. So you might reach the point where your client is asking for more and more revisions. You are tired. You don't want to keep working on the same project or the same scene again over and over. It's at that point where you shouldn't stop communicating. So keep sending updates, ask questions, even when it's hard to do. And if you join a project with a smile, with explosive positivity, desire to do great things, clients will love you and will want to work with you again. So again, big smile, enthusiasm. Your attitude needs to be a breath of fresh air in every project that you join. And even after endless revisions, be the person that makes it look easy to solve problems, and clients will give you more problems to solve. Okay, so I hope these tips were useful. After hearing this, you might still be thinking, okay, well, how do I actually become a freelancer? And really what you should focus on is getting one client. Once you start this career and you can show that you are a freelancer professionally, it will be much easier to get more clients down the line. So if your portfolio is just filled with student work, that's the hardest step, getting your first freelancing gig. Once you have some contacts, it will get easier. So for now, just focus on one client, and you can do this very deliberately. So if you have a specific game or game studio or outsourcing studio or a feature that you think indie developers might have a need for, just focus your efforts on that instead of just doing a project that you think would be cool. But you might still be wondering, well, how do I actually get started? How do I find clients? But there really isn't a right answer to that. It's a combination of networking, posting on websites online, networking events, LinkedIn, really just all of the above. I heard stories about people being contacted on Instagram. I wouldn't focus on just one forum or community. Probably just post your work everywhere, but be ready. Now you have 3 actions that you can start to do. And when a client reaches out to you, you will have your contract ready. You have a clear way to show that you can do the work, and you will be prepared mentally to keep a positive attitude throughout your engagement with this client. And if you're still not sure, you can actually apply the tips from the last video to help you out with this career shift as well. I hope this was useful for you, and tune in the next video where I will discuss the impact of AI in game development.